Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Recording has started. In a world of capes and lunatics, of gods and monsters, there are threats so great no one hero alone can face them. In those times shall rise a team of Avengers, and this is Avengers Declassified. I'm your host, Charlie, the Professor Esser, and with me, as always, is the blue-eyed bomber from the Burger Pits.
Phil Podcast Perich.
Welcome, podcast. Glad you're here. As always, tonight's episode, so we are talking Captain America 319, 320, 321, and that was enough. We're also talking 322.
Yeah, it's basically two different stories. Yeah, two-parters.
Yeah, two-parters, but they do blend nicely together, and we get to see a friend here eventually who might become a little more than a friend.
Uh-huh.
At least she's trying, man. She's trying. What is this? Backlash is who Cap's fighting in this. Who's just like, he's freaked out, man. He said, man, he got the melter, man.
Well, here, you want me to do a synopsis? Even though it doesn't it doesn't have everything in it, but
give me the story. Give me the story, Captain.
All right. So yeah, this first one is Captain America 319 from July 1986. Overkill by writer Mark Grunwald, penciler Paul Neary, inker Dennis Jank, colorist Ken Feduniewicz, letterer Diane Elbers, and editor Michael Carlin and Bobby Chase. All right. Yes, Blacklash is making jewelry heists in order to support his mom when Captain America defeats him and finds out that the melter had been recently killed.
I was just going to say, I like how they're always, they're stealing, but, to support their mom.
Yeah.
Because their mom likes diamonds,
I know. He links this with the attack on the Constrictor by Scourge and sets out to learn more. Meanwhile, back at Serpent Society headquarters, Sidewinder teleports in with the dead body of Death Adder and swears revenge on whoever killed him, who is also Scourge. And again, this synopsis doesn't mention Cap trying to track down Scourge, so he goes to see Full Killer, trying to make sure that he's not Scourge, and that's when he finds Diamond back, and she said she volunteers to work with him until she's just like,
we'll get to that. We'll get to that point.
All right. Yes. But then once they laid, she gets shot because a farmer thought she was a Martian coming out of a UFO.
Yeah, well, you got to, Phil, if you had a nickel for every time a freaking Skrull cow came on your land.
True.
It's not like he's like, overreacting. It's like, do you know how many Skrull invasions we've had this week? This week, Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the Krees, it's the Skrulls, or it's the Bad Dune. It's one of those guys.
Then at the bar with no name, Gary Gilbert, also known as Firebrand, is meeting with two other costume villains, Jaguar and Letha, to discuss a mass meeting about how to deal with Scourge. As Captain America follows his leads and hunches, the meeting of supervillains starts. When they are in the heat of their discussions, the bartender, who happens to be Scourge, then jumps out from behind the bar.
Spoilers!
I know. Well, yeah, for him.
Okay, I guess so.
For an almost 40-year-old comic, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and kills everyone there, exclaiming, "Justice is served."
Yeah, as you do.
But yeah, we kind of get like a quick origin of Diamond back. It's not the full origin because we'll learn years later that Crossbones is kind of tied in there. So
Yeah, well, you know, they added stuff in.
mm-hmm.
Remember, this is before Crossbones was a guy. You know, let's all remember way back when.
Yeah, Crossbones wasn't a character. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love Diamondback in this. I love how she's just like pretty cool, man. It's like, look, I got no problem with the Avengers. We're at most we're not enemies. We're from competing organizations, you know. You know, and quite frankly, I'm sure she's very happy when the Avengers go, you know, fight Galactus or some nonsense. You know, they're not looking. You know, the Avengers are almost never just trying to stop jewel thieves. You know.
Yeah.
No, that's what the police are for. You know, this is, you know, you have superhumans for superhuman crimes, you know. And if you're just a regular old costume jewel thief, that's not really their business, you know. But we digress.
But I mean, yeah, that was interesting. The whole thing in the beginning with Black Lash, because he's like, oh yeah, I'm stealing to support my, you know, send us some money away from my mom. She's like, I'm probably gonna be dead anyway soon here because, you know, the Melter's dead. I mean, I think they did this in a lot of the Marvel books at the time. You know, there was at least an issue of everyone's book where some like D-list villains were getting killed, and Scourge would always show up in disguise, like he did here as the bartender. Because there's even a story a few years from now. Is it Deadly Foes of Spider-Man? It's like Shocker is like scared to death that Scourge is going to come and kill him, even in like prison.
Mm-hmm.
So like he at the end he like kind of like he says he's going to run to South America, but then there's a Spider-Man issue like a year later where he's like, I don't have no money to get to South America. He's like, I got to pull more jobs.
Yeah, that's how it goes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do love the sexy Cyrene. But man, she is that latex does not hide.
Oh, I know. I know they're in that serpent saucer. She drops the key down her shirt. She's like, give me a kiss. I'll start it up, or you could search me, you know, yourself. And he's like, no, nope.
Yeah, and not for nothing. She was saying a little bit more than kiss me.
Yeah. Well, I think that to start, yeah.
Yeah, you know, she's just like, yeah, why don't you sex me up, boyo? And it's like, no.
As they're dropping to the ground, and he's like, nah, I don't think you're gonna throw your life away in a few fleeting moments of pleasure.
Pretty much, yeah. And she's like, cold fish, you know. Anyway, but yeah, and that gets us to our end here, where and you know, you said this is the bar with no name, but it's clearly a diner, so I don't know.
Well, is it this issue or the next one? I think might be a Water Wizard next one. I think he says the Cap. He's like, there's like a chain of these like across the country or something.
Yeah, it's a franchise. You know?
Yeah.
You gotta pay in early to get the franchise. That's the trick, you see.
They're gonna look for a bar with no name in a bar, Charlie Esser. They disguised it as a diner.
Yeah. I prefer the bar with no doors. But anyway, so yeah, Water Wizard, he's attacking poor old Cap. And the
next
and poor old Water Wizard, he's just like, man, I don't know what to do. I just need you to help, man.
Well, he's like, I wanted to make sure it was really you, Captain America.
Yeah. It gets crazy, man. Right. All these people are dying. Cops don't seem to be much help. I'll give it that much.
Well, nobody knows who Scourge is. You know, nobody knows who Scourge is. Even Captain America can't track this down.
Yeah. Although I will say this, it's. Oh, actually, give us the synopsis.
There's not much one of here, but okay. Captain America 320, August 1986. The Little Bang Theory. Looks like the same team. Yeah, there's not a lot. There isn't a big synopsis here. Just after it just says after discovering the massacre at the bar with no name, Captain America hatches a plot to catch the Scourge and stop his murder spree. So yeah, basically, yeah, Water Wizard brings, you know, he calls an anonymous tip to Captain America because he's like, you know what, I would have been one of these dead guys, except I got a flat tire on my way here.
Yeah, well, you know, not for nothing. Thank heavens for small favors.
Oh yeah.
I do love when we see the Scourge in the battle van and getting the contact from one of her contacts. or his contacts. Because he puts on a lady's face,
Mm-hmm.
which I find.
Well, remember at the end when Captain America takes the mask off, it is a guy, but he's like, "Oh, you're no one I've ever seen before."
Exactly, because it's. You know what, Philip?
It's not Scooby Doo, man.
Cut off one head, two more takes their place.
It's not Hydra. But yeah,
no,
so,
well, Phil, we eventually do see. Oh yeah, that's right. They are associated with Hydra.
Oh yeah, way down the line. Yeah.
It's much later, but I'm just saying.
But it's like with no leads, Captain America talks to the sheriff, in charge of the this massacre, and says, let me borrow one of these costumes. Don't tell anyone else. Because he dresses up as Mirage, and they leaked that to the press that, oh hey, one of these villains escaped getting shot. So when Scourge tries to kill Mirage, Captain America tries to ambush him, which he does, but then at the end, Scourge is killed by another Scourge.
Yes. Well, I do love the fact that, again, in classic superhero fashion, he is wearing his costume underneath the other costume.
Yes. Hey, man, might be bulletproofing,
To be fair, you do need that, especially because, look, this guy's got guns. Yeah, it is.
But yeah, then we also see Cobra come get Diamondback out of the hospital, and
yeah,
Scourge shows up and takes a shot at the saucers. The serpent saucers are taken off, and Diamondback, shouldn't we investigate? Cobra's like, no, we're gonna get killed. Let's go get reinforcements.
Yeah, you really gotta at this point. I do, I find it interesting that he's like waiting there, and again, just it's that weird thing where he just takes off the costume to go after the Scourge. So that's interesting.
But I do like he's sitting in that cabin. He's like, man, I got a lot of time to kill. Might as well finish up my assignment drawing the Captain America comic book for Marvel Comics.
That's how they get you, Philip.
I do remember this period. Yes, he got a job at Marvel Comics. First, they offered him the Iron Man comic. He says no. He's like, can I do Captain America?
Yeah. Oh my! It's an interesting book to say the least.
But I love how the cover promises the climax to this year-long story, and meanwhile it's just one killer gets killed by another, and the mystery continues.
Well, I mean, that is pretty much how it goes,
I think they're like, we want another Hobgoblin mystery on our hands. Keep it going.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of that one. And that brings us. I mean, actually, I am curious. Do they actually do another story to review in 320, or? What is this? Oh no, face to face with this. That is 320. That's the one I just read.
Yeah.
Sorry, 321. No, oh yeah, this is the one with the cover. The cover.
Yes.
The cover that dare not speak its name. And a very controversial cover, one might point out, because this gets us to Cap basically saying
ultimately misleading. Yes.
Yeah, he's never killed before. Yes, he has.
I think that this was a controversy raging in the letters column for a long time, and I think they were basically like, okay, he meant it not in wartime. He never killed when it wasn't wartime.
Yeah, well, and he doesn't kill unless he has to.
Yeah,
and he really, the whole picking up the gun. I mean, honestly, I think they could have looked into that a little bit better. I'll be honest with you. I felt that whole story beat fell flat. To me, because it just seemed like he was, he did something, he made a choice, and now he's going to be all regretty about it. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It just doesn't read true to me in the way that they explore the story. What did you think, Philip?
I mean, I get what you're saying, because kids, Flag-Smasher's back. He takes in 747 full passengers hostage, and Yes, he demands Captain America surrender himself, but Cap tries to find them and free them before, the deadline hits. And he does, but then they're being held in an old monastery, like a big church with like 3 guards. He manages to take out like most of the guards. There's like 2 left, and he's like, I can whip my shield at one of them. He's like, I'm going to take the one out further away, but then the one's closer just starts mowing down, starts shooting into the crowd. So Captain America with no shield has to pick up a gun and shoot the guy dead. So
yeah, and he does.
Mhm.
He does what anyone would do when you're faced with that unwinnable situation.
I mean, I get it. The Captain of this era, I mean, he would be more tortured by this, but it's like, I don't know. You have to go with the logic. Someone's going to die. Would you rather it's a couple innocent hostages or one guy who, by his choice, is here?
Yeah, I mean,
Shooting people.
I would have much preferred this with the 2 guards if Cap tried to de-escalate it.
Yes.
That would have been better if he had just walked in and said, let's relax. Let's talk about this. What do you guys want? And did that. I got to give a big shout out to Hiram's mom.
Oh, yeah.
Hiram's mom has got it going. She made Cap a freaking turkey and apple pie. She is laying it on thick, man. Drew her to look exactly like Valerie Bertinelli too. I'm gonna just throw that out there.
Or like Bernie in that candlelight.
Yeah, well, Cap has a type. What can you say? And Cap is feeling it. I feel like he's feeling it. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe he's just being polite.
he is lonely. I mean, Bernie broke up with him when she went to law school. So I mean,
yeah, it's an interesting thing. I want to know what Hiram's doing now. Have we revisited him recently?
No, since they dropped that hotline thing by the 90s. Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen Hiram again.
Yeah, he's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone calls him Ram.
Yeah.
Because it's Hiram, because his random access memory is high.
Yes, because him and his buddy, his online buddies, take care of Cap's hotline for him and, prioritize stuff.
But, it's kind of interesting, especially when you look at this character, then you see who, what's his name? Rick Jones eventually becomes as a character.
Mm-hmm.
It's that same kind of, hacker guy. It is interesting, the story we get. And then, of course, it ends up after it with that. But then we get the final issue in this.
Yes.
Which is Captain America versus the Flag-Smasher. And it's,
Yeah, I mean, basically, S.H.I.E.L.D. comes in to mop up. Flag-Smasher tries to get away in a copter while Cap tries to stop him. They both crash, in the middle of a blizzard.
Yeah. And Cap saves his life.
Yeah.
Huddles with him in the heat. You have him reliving when he actually went into the ice
and
all that stuff. And he basically, takes Flag-Smasher out and brings him to safety, So I could have let you die, but I didn't, I
know Flag-Smasher's like, I wouldn't have saved you.
Of course not. Which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
Because really, Flag-Smasher, it's this argument that he's a pacifist, but he needs to, the only way to stop war between nations is to destroy all nations.
Yeah, he thinks national boundaries and stuff like that. Yes. Are bad, and Captain America's like, you know what, you might have some good ideals, but it's just your execution. It's just, hey, he took a plane full of people hostage. It's like, well, your execution leaves a little something to be desired.
Yeah, but that was, not for nothing. That was kind of indicative for the era, where it just, you get a costume guy, and they just wouldn't they would have what seemed like a noble motive, but it always falls apart at the end, But yeah, so that was these 4 issues, Philip.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't know if you remember when we did the John Walker stuff, but Flag-Smasher returns in that, and Steve shows up in that black suit, and he says, he says, "How do I know you're the real Captain America? What's the last thing I ever said to you?" And Steve says, "You said, oh, you're going to live to regret saving me," which he said at the end of this last issue.
Yeah. There you go. Brilliant. Okay. So you want to talk? Well, let's keep it light. Let's talk She-Hulk.
All right.
All right. She is a Hulk. Fancy dress and cake Wednesdays
With Patsy, yes.
with Patsy. Oh, I love that, by the way, and I do love Patsy being just a sweetheart in this, and also being in continuity. Just saying, yeah, I could have just asked Tony for this; he would have given to you. It's not like it's top secret or anything, but and then you've got a very interesting interplay between Mallory Book and She-Hulk.
Mhm.
And Awesome Andy. And actually, wait, do we get Kurt Wagner at this point, or is he later in the story?
I mean, he's when she
Oh,
comes
there he
back
is, yeah.
from with Patsy, yeah. Kurt
Yeah,
Wagner in the office,
so he comes in and says, "Oh, were you at Fancy Dress and Cake Wednesday?" That Beast was always down for it, but Namor was not having it. But you basically get to the point where Mallory is just like, that's a lot of, where she's very mad about, I don't want to be dealing with superhumans. I don't want all this. And then it's like, then why did you hire me of all people? What was your thinking on this? And then she's like,
I know. I love it. It's like, I don't want any of this superheroic stuff. I signed all of Krakoa.
yeah. And for what it's worth, it's like, okay, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money.
An entire island nation, yes.
Yeah, and half those people are wanted for something. I like when we go back and meet Jack Hartz again, and I like Jack Hartz is so chill, and I really appreciate that about Jack. And I do like the fact that Jen, recognizes that she needs to be a hero. Like she hasn't really stopped being a hero ever. And then they stood up. And I like that. There's so many aspects of this that I really enjoy. I like the fact that she is having a healthy relationship for once, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's good.
I mean, it's nice that she cares about him, because it seems like no one else does. Because like Patsy's like, oh yeah, you wanted the information on Jack of Hearts. She's like, yeah, no one's gonna care if you take this thing. And even like when later on Jack says, I still have access to all my money because nobody even bothered to declare me dead or anything.
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
I mean, at least it's easier for him, but yeah, it's like
Yeah. Do you got a book to toss out?
Yeah. All Out Avengers number 1 came out this week.
Yes, how was that?
It's interesting because they literally like jump in like the middle of the story, like they're fighting this, like a queen or something from another dimension. She's like taking over Captain Marvel, so like we get like a big Captain Marvel 4 fight in here. Then meanwhile, Spider-Woman, Captain America, and Blade are like trying to storm the bridge of this ship. Oh yeah, Spider-Man and Black Panther show up. I mean, it's pretty much again all out.
It's all out Avengers
action, and yeah, we jump in the middle of this story, and they seem to beat these aliens, which I'm assuming is that going to be the last. Again, it's abrupt beginning, abrupt ending. I'm like, is that all we're going to do? Because next issue, we see a certain college dropout on the cover.
Yes.
But it's interesting because it's like they in the letters pages. Is this the writer or the artist? One of them is Tom Brevoort was saying, it kind of harkens back to the days, remember like when we were kids, we really didn't have access to comic shops and stuff. It was all spinner racks and stuff. So it's like you could walk into the store and, whatever issue pickup, you could start in the middle of the story and not know how, except for whatever summary they give you, not know how it started or.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that it's in the tradition of that. They're just like, oh yeah, don't worry about the beginning. We'll just drop you in the middle and explain what you need along the way. And
Okay. I mean, I'm here for it. That sounds fun. You
Yeah,
know?
no, it's interesting. No, yeah, I'm here for the second issue. So,
Okay. That sounds awesome. Do you want to do Captain America or do you want me to do Spider-Man 2099?
no, go ahead, do Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah, so Spider-Man 2099, it is the conclusion of the Goblin Saga. Eventually we got to the fact that it's a goblin. Um, yeah, and it is effectively they are trying to defeat the goblin. The goblin has his black card that gives him the ability to, I don't know, get access to things.
And it's still Norman. I'm just,
Oh, I love that. And I love just how he managed to stay alive. Oh, I've been basically draining the blood from anyone who was even remotely related to me just to stay alive. So that's pretty messed up, to be sure. And, at the end, the Avengers do assemble. Da-da-da-da! They're back, kids. Including Hulk 2099. Love my Hulk 2099.
yes.
And the Moon Knight 2099. And who was that person? Was that Union Jack? I don't know. There's a lot of people here. You got the new Captain America, the new Fulton. Lots of awesome, cool characters. They all team up. They all defeat the Galactic Goblin, who does he die at the end of this? You built heaven and earth, but you don't own it. Leave us a few, Moon Knight. This garden needs fertilizing. Oy vey. You're done, Goblin. Your crew's done. Painless, friendless, and hopeless. Welcome to 2099. Welcome. And then I do like that we have what's her name? The Watcher's wife, or I'm sorry, the Watcher's partner.
Yes.
Who has taken over for him. Oh, and of course, Osborn's behind bars, so, that's going to hold him.
And he'll never get out. Yeah, I know.
And he'll never, ever get out again. And Spider-Man 2099 goes off a swinging. Yay! There's no time like the present. That was a fun book. I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Okay. Got another book you want to toss out, my friend?
Yeah, but I was gonna say before we get to Captain America, I got Black Panther number 9.
Oh, how was that?
It was good because basically this threat from issue 1 comes back. I don't know if it's supposed to be an alien or something from another dimension, because it comes and is apologizing to the Avengers because it basically the creatures, I guess the closest Earth analogy is they're cattle, were just tearing stuff up, these almost indestructible cattle were tearing stuff up, and the guy's like, apologies, we didn't know we had to ask permission. And the Avengers are like, yeah, you just need to leave Earth. And he's like, oh, there's nowhere. It's like, no, leave Earth. So it disappears, and then it reappears. Oh, where did it reappear? But in Texas. And the Avengers like, we told you to leave. And yeah, like I said, these creatures are almost indestructible. They used Doctor Strange to stop them last time, but Stephen Strange is dead right now. So
dang, that's Stephen Strange being dead when you need him.
But T'Challa's like, I think I can duplicate maybe some of the mystic whatever Doctor Strange did, because he's like, I recorded whatever the magic basically into a signal or something. And Steve was like, you record us? He's like, no, vibranium, just the
vibranium records you.
Of its
just
nature.
Happen to be wearing a lot of vibranium.
Well, no, it says no. Vibranium doesn't record everything, but like signals and stuff. You can get get a pattern of a signal off vibranium. So he calls Shuri, and he's like, I need a quick and easy way to duplicate this signal.
Yes.
So, right at the end, as T'Challa's about to do that, they get ambushed. I don't know if this is another one of the aliens, Buffalo Soldier.
Oh, Buffalo Soldier. That's an interesting character.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of wacky aliens, but no, this was good because you got the Avenger, you got Captain America, Thor, Captain Marvel in this. It was good.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll get to Captain America number 4. I'm sorry, Captain America Sentinel of Liberty.
Yes, because remember we have 2 books now.
Yeah, Symbol of Truth and Sentinel of Liberty. And it's interesting because, and I almost kind of appreciate this in this whole thing, because the guy's following him, who is the new super soldier mech, and I love the fact that he is intentionally, following him and, making, he is, which honestly, from my perspective, it's interesting how he's playing it, because he's clearly putting a lot of people, including this little kid, in danger if he knows he's being followed this whole time. But he also knows this guy's been following him for a while, and if he was going to attack, he's probably not going to attack. To get him into this spot alone so that he can fight him. Oh, and I do love the big burly Union guy. He's fun. And let's see here. Yes, we get the Dark Alley scene, and eventually, he basically talks him out and says, yeah, I've been talking a lot, but I've been talking to you, because everything you saw, that was what was me trying to convince you of what we're doing here, and you can either be with me or against me. And the creature jumps down, and they fight for a bit. They have their little talky talk, and then he's like, but you know what? Let's work through it. And at the end of it, the monster befriends him, and they shake hands, and now they're ready to go against the bad guys alone. And they're like, oh, wow, that happened way quicker than we anticipated, which means they did anticipate it happening, but it's happened a lot faster. Which also tells me they really didn't anticipate it. Like, a lot of their plans that were kind of reliant on this, like, not happening here, probably have gained a non. So, the Revolution, I don't know who this guy is. I'm getting some Mad Thinker vibes. I don't know.
Oh, the guy at the end?
Yeah, the guy at the end who calls himself the Revolution.
Yeah. I didn't know if that was a brand new guy. He's supposed to be a brand new guy, or
yeah. Well, I mean, he might be. No, I was your cousin Larry from from issue 102. I was Larry the whole time. So yeah. So I don't know. Yes, I don't know who it is, but it is someone. So there's probably lots of Larrys. But moving right along.
Oh, speaking of She-Hulk's father, cousin Larry.
Oh yeah, good old. Oh, by the way, I just gotta say, I did love the latest issue of She-Hulk. I love when her dad comes in and says, "What's the shovel for?" He says, "Digging holes." That's all you need to know.
He's gonna bury the wrecking crew.
Yeah, he's gonna bury whoever he's got it. He used to be a cop. That's all I'm saying, Philip. He used to be a cop.
Sheriff. Oh yeah, Sheriff Walters. Yes.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's a real sweetheart. But that was before you started talking smack about his daughter, and now he's like, well, I think now
talking smack. The wrecking crew tried to they did attack her.
Oh yeah, no, that is true. But they also talk smack at her as well. So it's like he is not one to be messed with. So he has staked his claim. So that's pretty cool.
I mean, the show's fun. I mean, I don't know what people's problem is. I like the show. It's been fun.
I don't think anyone has a problem with it, honestly. I think that people that have a problem with it either don't read comics.
Yeah, I don't think they don't.
Because it's like, oh, the Hulk should never be silly. It's like, have you ever read a Hulk comic?
Have you read a She-Hulk comic? Come on.
Well, She-Hulk, yes, specifically. But I mean, Clown Hulk is a canonical personality of the Hulk. For goodness sakes, when the Hulk ran away from no, it wasn't when he ran away from the Avengers, but when he was working in the circus, dressed as a clown, pretending to be a robot, like you do.
Joe Fixit once literally called the Blob John Goodman. Come on.
Yes. That was cruel. That was needlessly cruel. But
they would have eat up the twerking. Well, yeah.
Oh, and don't even get that is just like the things people are picking on. You can tell this is someone who just doesn't know what they're talking about, and it's like, unless you have a valid criticism, please go away.
And again, I mean, again, we've had humor in She-Hulk comics, and two, it's like, no offense, maybe Marvel's trying to bring in someone other than straight white men,
Yeah, or even just look, I will say that I'm a relatively straight white male, and I like it too. They're trying to not have toxic fanboys. Is what it is.
No. And any successful business, you want to cater to as many people as possible. Try to bring as many people. It doesn't matter, who they are.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, anyway, moving right along. Let us move forward from here, Philip, and let's talk about where people can help us out.
Oh, okay. Yes. All right. So,
would you like to give us the information?
Yes, I will do that. And even before that, let me pull up the schedule. Do more Captain America issues next week. All right, kids. Here's schedule. Paper opens. All right. Yes, next week we will be covering. Oh, yes, Captain America 357 through 362. Children, the Bloodstone Hunt.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Zemo hires himself a crew, and you know who one of the people on that crew is, don't you, Charlie Esser?
Was it a wrecker? Was it the wrecker or
Batroc Z Leaper?
Oh, Batroc! Oh, how could I forget? It's like,
one of your favorites.
Crew, and I'm immediately thinking the wrecker.
Yeah, no, there's like Zaran and Weapons Master, but yeah, no, one of them is Batroc Z Leaper.
He is just there for the lols.
All right. Yeah, so send your thoughts on that one, kids. That's a good one, huh? Email us CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find Avengers Declassified on Facebook, on Twitter. Find links to all the various Marvel and DC shows we do. Links to the YouTube channel. Because everything we do gets a video, so smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any of it, including all of the guest hosts we've had for September.
Smash it.
And of course, the Patreon, because again, we're paying for this out of our own pocket. It's a labor of love. Every little bit helps. $3 to $5 gets you early access to creator interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
And Lilith Hellfire's favorite superhero movie brackets. We will find the worst superhero movie of all time. And you can also support us with Capes Lunatics and Capes Lunatics Sidekicks merchandise. Find everything at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. Charlie Esser.
Well, if they'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our mothers and fathers wants to do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet things when I feel like it. At Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsscr. Look for the two E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing.
Thank you, Maz.
All right.
And another day has come to an end. Another wrong has been avenged. You have listened to Avengers Declassified. This podcast will self-destruct in 10 seconds.
Oh, and I also love in She-Hulk, Wong got a new friend, Madison.
Oh, yeah.
Two N's, one Y, but not where you think it is.
Can we talk about Cornelius Willows and how he knows the demon she made a deal with?
Ooh.
They dressed that guy to look like Monaco the Prince of Magic. Didn't say it was Monaco the Prince of Magic. That was totally Monaco the Prince of Magic.
And Donnie Blaze. Oh, God.
Donnie Blaze. Yeah, well. We love Donnie. He's a frat boy.